Christi Nichols married Mark Nichols of Gothenburg, Nebraska at the age of 19. She was the mother of 2 children and vanished on the 11th of December 1987 at the age of 22. According to her family and friends, her life centred around Mark and their children. However, prior to her disappearance, their marriage seemed to be falling apart. Christi reportedly began seeing another man. 10 days before she vanished, she went to the hospital for treatment of an injury that occurred during an argument with Mark. According to rumours, they had a rough marriage with her at the brunt of several strange injuries. However, Mark has denied all accusations of doing any physical harm to her. He claimed that she was the one that attacked him and that he only hurt her in self-defence. The doctor who treated her, however, felt that she was being abused by Mark. She didn't make much eye contact with the doctor and seemed scared of Mark, who was waiting just outside the door. According to Christi's cousin Debbie, who said that she was being abused by Mark. She even showed Debbie a bruise on her side. 2 days before she vanished, Christi talked to a lawyer, Claude Berrickman, about getting a divorce. She was afraid that Mark would find out, so she went to Claude because he worked in a different town. He noted that she seemed very frightened of Mark. She told him about how he had abused her multiple times. Claude and Christi planned on contacting the police to file charges against him for the abuse. However, she vanished before this could occur. Claude did not believe that she would have fled, since they were planning on filing the charges against Mark at a later date. The day after she met with Claude, Christi went shopping with Mark and their children. They went to Pizza Hut for supper and took the kids to see Santa. That evening, they decided to go out, so they hired a teenager, Diane Jansen, to babysit the children, as they've done so several times before. She was surprised that they were going out together because she knew that they weren't getting along. That night, they went to the bar where Christi worked as a part-time bartender and played some pool. After they left the bar, the couple apparently stopped at the Jack and Jill's convenience store in town, according to the clerk. He said that Mark did some shopping, while Christi seemed very nervous and wanted to get somewhere, it seemed, and she just stayed around the clerk talking to him. He said Mark bought some milk and breakfast items and they left about 12:30 a.m. to head home. That was the last time Christi was ever seen alive again. According to Mark, they were getting along well that night. According to Diane, Mark arrived somewhere between 12:30 and 1 a.m. She was doing her homework in front of the TV and she claimed that she did not see Christi enter the house. However, according to Mark, Christi did come home with him and went straight upstairs. Diane thought it was strange that Mark paid her in cash that night because she was normally paid with a cheque by Christi. She believes that she would have heard Christi if she had come inside. According to Mark, Christi went straight to bed as soon as they got home. He said that he last saw her at around 2 a.m. The next morning, on the 11th of December 1987, Christi was nowhere to be found, allegedly having left Mark and their children and taking a suitcase of belongings while leaving her car behind. Although she was missing at 9:30 a.m, Mark told her mother on the phone that she was sleeping at the time. He claimed that he did not want to worry his mother. At 11:30 a.m, Mark took their children to Christi's grandmother's house and asked if she could look after them. After he told her that Christi was missing, he did not ask her if she had seen her. He allegedly drove around for several hours looking for her, although no witnesses could confirm this. After driving around looking for her, Mark notified the police. Surprisingly, he moved out of the house the same day, boxed up all of her clothes, and sold both of her cars. 3 months later, in March of 1988, Christi's suitcase was found dumped at a roadside rest area 30 miles away. Mark was somehow able to give an exact list of everything that Christi had put in it. It appeared to have been deliberately placed there. Despite a thorough search of the area around Gothenburg, no other trace of her has ever been found, and the case had stalled. Mark continued to claim that Christi had abandoned him, their children, and left voluntarily. However, the family didn't believe this and felt that Mark was responsible for her disappearance. The case was aired on Unsolved Mysteries on the 16th of November, 1988. The police didn't believe Christi vanished voluntarily. Traces of blood were found in the couple's bedroom and in the trunk of Mark's car. DNA testing confirmed that the blood belonged to Christi. Mark claimed that the blood was menstrual blood, but the analysis determined that it was not true. It was also discovered that Christi met with an abuse counsellor before she vanished. When Mark found out, he was furious and told her that she would not get to see children again unless she stopped visiting the counsellor. Also, she never picked up her last paycheck. She told her mother that Mark was monitoring her phone calls. She also told her mother that she planned to leave Mark the day after she vanished. Her mother believes that he killed her before she had that chance. Despite this evidence, Mark has never been charged with his wife's disappearance, presumably due to the lack of a body. He now lives in Arkansas and is married for the third time. Sadly, due to Mark's influence, Christi's mother has not seen her grandchildren since the early 1990s. Authorities continue to investigate the case and have treated it as a possible homicide. They're hopeful that one day, with the advances in technology, and by keeping the story in front of the public, it may jog memories and generate new leads. They're hopeful that someone who knew or heard something and was too afraid to come forward 32 years ago may now be willing to. They are hoping to bring closure to her family. The case remains unsolved. On the 12th of May 1986, 26-year-old Wanda Mays became overwhelmed with unknown fears and disappeared after suffering a major anxiety attack after she changed her diet. This was not the first time that she had suffered from these attacks. The night before, she had dinner with her parents near Guntersville Lake when they said that she seemed fine. When her father Jim walked her back to her car, she felt like she wanted to tell him something, but she never did. At 8 p.m, on the way back to her apartment, she visited her aunt and uncle, Betty and Ty Dorman, who persuaded her to spend the night. At 7 a.m. the following morning, Betty awoke and knocked on Wanda's door, but received no answer. She woke up Ty, and he was unable to open it, so they got their grandson John to kick it open. Inside the room, they found everything in disarray, and the window broken. Ty ran down to the lake and saw Wanda's torn and bloody nightgown on the dock. They called the police, and a search began for Wanda's body in the lake. Her family didn't believe she drowned, as she was an excellent swimmer. Later that day, an abandoned canoe was found with Wanda's blood in it. At 10 a.m, homicide investigators came to the scene, but they were unable to come up with a good explanation as to what had happened. When they investigated the room Wanda was in, they found that her bed had not been slept in, her clothes were neatly laid on a chair, and the window was clearly broken from the inside. What puzzled investigators was how everyone in the house was able to sleep through Wanda breaking through 2 panes of glass. Authorities believed that Wanda had suffered from another anxiety attack and ran away, got into the canoe, and then went to the other side of the lake. They believed that she may have taken some clothes from a clothesline from the other side of the lake and wandered around the area. At around 10 a.m, a witness saw a tall young girl walking along Route 62, not far from where Wanda had vanished. She was wearing baggy clothing and looked as if she had just gone swimming. The next day at a convenience store in Huntsville, Alabama, 30 miles away, a girl matching Wanda's description was seen sitting in a car with 2 unidentified men, looking terrified. 10 minutes later, the witness saw her talking on the payphone and was convinced it was Wanda. Authorities and Wanda's family were uncertain whether she met foul play or even if she was still alive. The case was first aired on Unsolved Mysteries on the 25th of May 1987. The case was solved in October 2003 when skeletal remains were discovered in a wooded area off Charlotte Road in Guntersville. They were found below a 150-foot cliff, less than 2 miles from the Dormans' home. In January 2008, DNA testing confirmed that they belonged to Wanda. Police didn't suspect foul play in her case and have ruled her death as an accident. They believed that due to her chemical imbalance, she had another panic attack sometime after midnight on the day she vanished. They believed that after she broke through the bedroom window, she ran away to the cliff where she fell to her death. Wanda's family accepted the ruling and believed that her death was due to her chemical imbalance. Sadly, the Dormans passed away before learning of her fate. In the year 1977, Kelly Helton was a 14-year-old girl and was living with her divorced mother Connie Jean in Tempe, Arizona. One afternoon, Kelly arrived home from school and her mother explained to her that she was moving 200 kilometers away to start a new job she had found. Unbelievably, she told Kelly to stay at home in Tempe and to fend for herself. Kelly had to drop out of school, then lied about her age to employers in order to get a job. 3 years later, her mum decided to move back in with her. Later, when Kelly was 26, she was still living in Arizona when she gave birth to her first daughter, Tabitha. Around the same time, Connie Jean married her sixth husband, Donald Haynes, a paroled felon. According to Kelly, Connie Jean was longing for another child, so when her second daughter Zenith was born, she was more than willing to help Kelly out. Kelly had ended her relationship with Zenith's father prior to her birth. She eagerly accepted Connie Jean and Donald's invitation to bring the girls into their home in Provo, Utah. Soon after, Kelly and her daughters moved in. Connie Jean told Kelly that she could put Zenith on her and Donald's insurance plans. She said that all that Kelly needed to do was sign a paper. The paper, however, was actually a legal document that allowed Connie Jean and Donald to adopt Zenith. Connie Jean explained it was a temporary arrangement so that Kelly could have time to get back on her feet. After Kelly signed the paper, Connie Jean became obsessed with Zenith and acted as if she was her mother and not Kelly. In February of 1993, Kelly took her daughters and returned to Arizona. In July, Kelly allowed Connie Jean to see her and the girls at the layover at Salt Lake City Airport. Donald and Kelly's half-brother Michael also came along. As the group walked through the airport, Connie Jean held Zenith. When they arrived at the check-in desk, Kelly realised that Connie Jean and Zenith were gone. Kelly soon located Connie Jean and Zenith and demanded that she return her baby. Connie Jean, however, claimed that the child belonged to her. She waved around the paper that Kelly had signed earlier. Airport security intervened and Kelly soon returned to Arizona with her daughters. 2 days later, however, Connie Jean filed legal papers in Utah to enforce the adoption agreement. Based on the court order, Arizona police seized Zenith and delivered her to Connie Jean. A 2-year legal battle began between Connie Jean and Kelly over the custody of Zenith. The court appointed impartial experts to determine if Connie Jean or Kelly should have custody of Zenith. One expert felt that Connie Jean was insensitive and intolerant to others. The experts felt that Kelly would be a more suitable mother, and the courts agreed. Zenith was returned to Kelly. Connie Jean, however, was given 9-hour unsupervised visits once a week. Soon, she moved to Arizona to be closer to Zenith. Kelly feared that Connie Jean would abduct her daughter. She told her attorney about her fears. On the 17th of October 1995, Connie Jean, Donald, and Connie Jean's son Michael came to pick up Zenith for their 9-hour visit. However, they never returned, and Kelly has not seen them since. The case was televised on Unsolved Mysteries on the 3rd of January 1997. The case was solved when a viewer who had recently been in Iceland recognised Connie Jean, Donald, and Zenith from the broadcast. All three were found in a town near Reykjavik, Iceland, where they had been living there for more than a year. Zenith was taken into protective custody, while Donald and Connie Jean were arrested. Zenith was immediately brought back to the United States and was reunited with her mother Kelly and sister Tabitha. Although at first, Zenith barely remembered her mother, however, it didn't take long for them to reconnect